Watches and Wonders is finally over. And one of the main takeaways from all the brands that I found was a return to vintage style and size watches. So today I want to talk about a watch that is really cool and is actually vintage, and that is the Rolex 6548, a 31 mil Rolex Oyster Perpetual that is pretty old. It's from the mid 1960s, and you could still get them for under $2,500. So let's talk about it. So this right here is the Rolex 6548. Again, it is 31 mil. This particular one happens to be two-toned with a solid gold fluted bezel and a solid gold crown. Again, it comes in at a size of 31 mil. So why am I talking about a 31 millimeter watch? Now, back in the day, what they would say is this was boy size, while 36 mil was considered very large at the time. However, times are changing, and just a few years ago, watches were getting bigger, and bigger. Now people want to return to smaller size. These are becoming super popular, and again, you could pick one up for under $2,500. If you want one all original on bracelet, then you're gonna pay closer to $3,500. But one like this, a two-tone on a leather strap, obviously it's aftermarket, is going to cost you, again, under $2,500. So that makes this a really good deal in today's market. As we know, the tariffs just hit, so watch prices are going to go up significantly. So this is a great buy. So this actually runs on the caliber 1160. It has 42 hours of power reserve, and it's plus or minus 4 to 6 seconds a day. Now, keep in mind, this watch was made in the mid-60s. That is a pretty good stat, 42 hours. The newer Rolexes are 70, 72 hours, but, 42 hours, that's 2 days. Not terrible. Not terrible at all. So now let's see what 31 mil looks on the wrist, and let's compare it to a modern Rolex. Here it is on my 7-inch wrist. For those of you that don't really know your wrist size, 7 inches is not that small, but it's also not that big. It's kind of right in the middle, right average. So what do you think? Is it too small, or is it just right? I personally think it's perfect. They say the golden ratio in size is 39 mil. This coming in at 31 mil. But you know what? I happen to think that this is a really classy watch. It kind of wears more like a bracelet than a watch. But I personally think this is passable. As a 6-foot adult male, I think that I could wear this pretty easily, especially with a suit. Now, when I bought this watch, it was a head only. It did not have a band. I chose to go with the green leather strap for this. I think green and gold is about as hot as you can get right now. But you guys let me know in the comments what you think. So now I'm going to do another size comparison. I have a Rolex Submariner, the most modern version of the Rolex Submariner. So let's see how it compares to its 41.5 mil size. What do we think? This is a 41.5 Rolex Submariner, Starbucks, Kermit, MK2, whatever you want to call it, next to the 31 Oyster Perpetual. As you can see, the size difference is pretty dang noticeable. But what do you think? Again, my 7-inch wrist is about as average as you can get. So on most wrists, this will be about how it's going to look. So put in the comments if you prefer a smaller watch over a larger watch. I wouldn't particularly say that the Rolex Submariner by today's standards is a larger watch, but back in the day, it's considered freaking massive at 41.5 mil. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you think. Would you rock the vintage OP, or would you want something a little bit newer? So this is my first video since Judgment Day, and yes, I am referring to the tariffs. I am not going to tell you where I stand politically. You're never going to find out. I don't find politics to be relevant to this channel. However, what I will say is, based on the current situation, the best thing you can do at a time like this is invest in assets. Assets are going to be your friend. Whether it be watches, cars, designer items, things that don't lose value, or things that went up a lot in value and went down over the last couple of years, they're going to go back up. It's just how it is. When people are fearful, it's time to be greedy. That is a Warren Buffett quote. Assets right now are going to be your friend. The consumer is going to suffer with everything with these tariffs. Now, whether you agree with our president or not, I don't really care. Again, I personally don't care. I am not a politics guy. You will never find out where I stand. But the point of these tariffs is to get back at other countries for treating us unfair and whatnot. Whatever the heck he says. But in the short term, it's going to hurt us as the consumer, and prices are going to skyrocket. So buy assets while you can. I typically don't say to invest in watches, but this is going to be the one time where I think that watches are going to be a valuable investment. I know in a past video I literally said watches are not investments. This is a unique situation. This is the one time where assets are going to be investments, and you should be investing in assets as much as possible. And I do believe the bigger brands, Rolex, Omega, all those brands, especially vintage right now, is going to be a great thing to hop on. So this Rolex 31 mil Oyster Perpetual is currently in an eBay auction. So if you want to find it in the next couple days, you can. You're probably not going to watch this video for a very long time. So the auction is gone, and I definitely don't have this anymore. But the principle still stands. If you're watching this within a year of this video, buy assets. If you're watching this way down the road and you're just interested in this particular reference number, this is a fantastic watch. Again, 42 hours of power reserve for a watch from the 60s. You're getting that vintage look. You're getting an automatic watch, the caliber 1160. And I mean, come on, what's classier than a vintage Rolex? It's never going out of style. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, peace.